So today is my off day. It's Monday. So my son lives in a rental house, right? It's a long story. But the garage door and the side door is bad. So they said that they would pay me to take care of the doors and stuff. Not my son, but the landlord. So I'm gonna go take care of this, man. Put in a garage door and a side door. Here we go again. So the door is so old that the nuts on the bolts are square. If you've ever seen that, you know what I'm talking about. You got to, anyways. So yeah, the door is pretty well falling apart. The track is actually in really good shape considering how old it is. It's the bottom corner on the right. It's a little rusty, but it's in really good shape. So what I had to do is, of course, we're going to have to get all these old panels out, disconnect the original chains. Once I got the door out, then we going to work on the track. The new track is for a taller ceiling garage. This door, it's 9 foot wide, but the track is not, it's too tall to go in this garage. On top of that, they come with a torque bar instead of springs. So the torque bar was not going to work on this because I don't have enough the height on the garage ceiling. Just for instance, you can't put a garage door opener in this garage. So I'm measuring it out, just double check before I get any farther. And it's definitely not going to work with the new track, so we'll have to go with the old track. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay out all my hinge pins, aka the hinges, because each one, each door's got different size hinges. They tip out farther. So just going ahead and double checking everything on the rollers. Because your two ends are different than your middle hinge. So I'm going to go ahead and test fit the door, and then we're going to have to adjust the track out away from the frame. Now I'm going to start to find a socket to fit these hinges, old bolts on the hinge on the frame, so I can bring the frame out, or the tracks, so I can bring the tracks out away from the frame a little bit. Just loosen everything up so the doors, the pans slide easier. Once you get that loosened up, then we just start installing the doors. The side hinges go in first, or you can put the middle in first. It don't really matter how you put it on there. It's just you got to watch your rollers hinge, because the bottom one, each one as you go up gets farther out away from the door. That's about the only thing different with the hinges. So now I got the pins in, or the panels in. They're gonna have to reset the original springs and the cords. It's not too hard. It's just the one on the right's a newer spring, the one on the left's an old spring, so it's a little pulls on one side more than it does the other, and we did a little adjusting.
there, Big Steve. What you doing?
So we got us a door install. 2x4s, both sides. It's not right at all. Metal flange, it's setting behind the siding, so I have to run saw down through both sides and cut the siding loose from this homemade rigging. This rigor
mortis.
Yeah, so good times. Let's get started on this. I had already taken the frame out, the 2x4s on each side. Well, 2x4 on the right side, I already took it out. Cody just pulled out the hinges. Now I'm taking out the rigor-ish weather stripping. Door stop, whatever you want to call it. Now we'll go ahead and dry fit the door, see what all needs to be adjusted. So on the new door, I always take the weather stripping out because that's where I put my screws. Instead of putting them out in the face, I've seen a lot of people guys put them right in the face trim. I put them in behind the insulation on the door. It makes it a lot easier, makes it look better. Can't find the screws. Boy needs to learn to get off that phone. I'm just joking, man. So I'm putting down its silicone because I've pretty set the door. That's all I gotta do is stand it up and make sure it's all squared up and shoot screws in the inside first. Once the door's not swinging on its own, then I can shim out the strike plate side of the door frame. That's what I'm doing now, putting some shims in there. Of course, I wasn't paying attention, and the bottom corner is out or in too far, so I have to pull it back out, readjust the door, and then put the weather stripping back in. It's not too big of a deal. You can see my problem now is that this has got to come over for the brick molding, and clearly this has got to be moved. Yeah. It's all his fault.
Yep.
It's all his fault.
Me.
So what I got to do is I got to set the brick molding up on top to figure out how far over I need the brick molding to be on there, how much I need to trim up on the vinyl siding, because I have to trim it back, and then I have to make or take enough off to get the new J channel in there. Once I get that, then I can slide the J channel back in. We will be gluing that into place because there's no way to get behind it to put the screws in it. But you know, we got to set up the trim on the right and then put the top basically into place so I can mark the left side, and then I got to take up another 1/2 inch for the J channel and then cut that off. Once I get that off and peel it all out of the way, then I can slide the new J channel into place. Once I get that all installed, then I can nail the entire trim on, double check the door, and then we're going to glue the siding into place, and then we'll silicone around the edges and fill in any gaps on the trim, because that corner there on the left, there's about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch gap at the bottom for the
brick molding. It's just because the siding itself is out a little too far. But no big deal. Little caulk, little paint, make something that it ain't. Good times.